Next, we're gonna approve and sign the minutes of the previous meetings for 1:30, 2024. 2024, and 2024.
I have a correction on February 2. Right before it says adjournment, upon exiting executive session, the board voted unanimously to move forward with the drafting of the abatement letter. Had another correction on February 7, very last paragraph. It was Steve Stone that asked if we had to do a secret ballot, not Steve Hewitt. Also, when we came out of the executive session, the select board meeting voted to not provide for the abatement as requested. We just need to add that.
On February 7th, the general announcement said it was next, not next.
With those corrections, I make a motion to approve the 3 different dated minutes of the select board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ann is on Zoom, you said?
She was going to be, I don't see her, but
Okay.
The Greenwood Emergency Services, you know what that was?
That's why I was hoping Ann would be on. Larry here?
Okay.
I don't think I do.
That's fine.
What was it again?
Greenwood Emergency was for the fire
Emergency
department.
vehicles, don't know which.
Maybe something Larry submitted,
That was probably that email he submitted that we all got.
probably.
Okay, next, we get approved and signed present warrants, a payroll warrant, accounts payable warrant, and a water warrant.
Make a motion, we approve the warrants.
I'll second that. All in favor?
I,
General announcements. The next regular select board meeting will be held on Tuesday, 2/27, 24, 5 o'clock here at the hall. Next, committee reports. You want to go through the committees?
Sure. Education is first. Okay, Jen.
Well, Leah could be here tonight, so I'm filling in.
Okay,
I will do my best. You know, I probably won't come close. They have one new, exploratory committee member, Felicia Waterhouse. That cover letter has been done. She just needs to drop it off to you, so you guys can go ahead and do your portion of swearing her in. They're still finishing up additional research and numbers to ensure all the data is correct and prior to the select board presentation. And the next meeting is Monday, February 26th at 6 p.m. at Rich Academy. And that is all that we have tonight.
thank you. Broadband?
The broadband committee is still working on trying to get the information for the FCC map challenge. They're starting to have Zoom meetings about it, so maybe we're gonna start getting some factual information from them. And once all the information, there's one this Friday and then there's one next Tuesday. Once we have all that information together, there'll be a big mailing that will be sent out to everybody in the community, letting everyone know what's gonna happen and how it's gonna happen and what it's gonna mean. And there are people from the broadband committee that are gonna be knocking on doors, and we're gonna have a schedule of which places the doors need to be knocked on so that we can get the proper speed test. And the Dresden Digital Equity Group is now official, we're an official not-for-profit. So once we figure out how that money is gonna be used to help the people in Dresden to get the education, the facilities and the services they need, that will be up and running and ready to go. And Don's gonna talk about the hub.
Before you start, I have a question. So you have a board established for this nonprofit or
Yes.
you're in process? So
Yes.
who oversees the trust?
It's myself and Mary Walsh, and Susan Lamb, and Justin Andres is the lawyer who's put the forms together for us. And we've gotten the approval from the state.
So I'm curious, you're on the rec committee and you're overseeing the trust. I mean, not the rec committee, the broadband.
The broadband, yeah.
Okay, I assume that's okay. You do? I don't know.
I don't see any conflict.
And Justin doesn't see a conflict of interest.
Okay.
No.
She did.
They really do work hand in hand.
Thank you.
So on the connectivity iHub, we're, just like Judy said, waiting on the main connectivity authority to provide direction. We've been participating in the conference calls. At this point, I will speak candidly and say that we will probably not pursue the grant. Simply because it would require an extraordinary level of effort to properly administer it. And some of us on the committee don't believe that Dresden is quite ready to take on that challenge. But for the next select board meeting, we will have an update because we will be hearing from MCA regarding a number of things, including how they looked at our interest form and then their refined requirements for the details associated with any project coming out of it. That's all I have.
Okay. Rec committee?
I don't have anything to report. I understand you have some reforms.
So, yeah, so I, Anne was able to get her hands on the previously signed forms. The only problem is the charge is for 9 members. I have 8 here, but then I have 5 more that were handed in in the second round of cover sheets. So sounds like we'll have to
I think
decide.
Yeah,
the 8 is a much more accurate. There's been a lot of changes that was handed into Daniel
Okay,
a while ago. And I think 8, and there's one person who has been away. So I think that's,
can you provide a list of who is on the rec committee?
yes.
That would be super, because it's got
And
to
it
be ready
changes. I
tonight.
mean, some.
It can't
people-
change when they're,
That's,
No,
if
there's
they
a
quit,
core.
they.
no, I'm
can
just talking
change.
about the people.
That, those are volunteers though, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, your committee is the core though. Those-
Yes, I understand that, but we've had people come onto the committee and leave, and then we've had to replace them. So
Right, and that's fine,
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if we could just get an updated
I
list.
believe with this,
Yes.
the 8 is much more accurate than previously.
well, if you'd like, I can send you an email tomorrow of who I have in this group of 8,
Yeah.
and then who I have outstanding.
I have that list. I was the one who brought that over.
I have.
Made a list, but yes, send
A
us to me.
spreadsheet that I started that has everybody, so if I could get those from you, tonight, I'll deliver them back to you tomorrow
Okay.
with the file as well.
Okay,
So if
works
you
for
can
me.
send me that 8, I'll check it against my 8. It should be the same because I delivered it to the office.
I mean, you can look at them tonight before you leave
Okay.
if you want to see
Yeah.
who's in here and who's,
Yeah, we're
Wait.
trying to zero in.
Yeah. It's been a moving target for about a year now.
but it's good to have people involved.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
School board.
That's me again. So, we're currently still working on the budget. We're getting, I wouldn't say we're getting, a solid number, but we're getting closer. That's ongoing. Our next school board meeting is March 7th, 6 p.m. at the central office. We have negotiations going on for food service workers, custodians, and bus transportation. That's ongoing. We'll see, we should see hopefully that finalized so we can get the numbers that we'll need from that to do our school budget. But as it stands right now, we're probably looking at, we're nudging against the 30 million mark for our school budget for this year. Last year was 28. So with changes and the new family leave law that has come into place, that are significant changes, and those are state legislated changes that we actually have to execute the plan together, starting 1 January of 2025, which only covers 6 months, so the next following year will be even more extensive. But on that happy note, we're still chugging away. And once we get more solid numbers, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to give a better number for you guys to start making your budget forward for the town and everything else, so. And unless anybody has questions for me? I'm Stan.
I don't have anything for planning board unless Sherry, you have anything.
Steve's right here, Steve Stone,
Steve,
he's the vice chair.
Not a lot changed from the last time I was stood up because our planning board meeting is tomorrow night. But anyway. Basically, we'll be entertaining Big Swift's application. And we'll be looking at the Indian Run application. And we're going to step back concerning the license program. There's some points brought up by Data that caused us to dig into it a little bit more, and we got to start that process again. There are some steps we're gonna have to take, and we missed a step or two along the way, and we're gonna start it back and do it the way it should be done. So that business license, ordinance will be coming back out. When, I don't know, but it is on the shelf right now. And otherwise than that, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sue. I do have a transfer station report from Ernie. I would say the main points for the transfer station is they're still dealing with, speeders. Having a problem with that. And they also wanted to know about their clothing allowance for last year. I guess they did not get that.
They're to provide receipts and then we reimburse them,
Okay,
is the way I think it was discussed.
okay.
And I suggest that we revisit that because we're talking about individuals that really need the money first to go and buy rather than
Amen.
you take on debt in order to get reimbursed sometime down the road. So
That's a good
I'm
point.
fine either way. So we just need to know what we're gonna give them. I think did we not discuss $100?
yeah, that was the minimal amount. Reality is, if you're gonna buy boots, you've just spent your $100,
Right.
right? So if we're gonna provide them with other outerwear, then we should be raising that.
I recommend then that they bring in a quote. I mean, the web is pretty well known now that if they're gonna buy boots, they should print out what they're looking to buy and present that to Nicole, and Nicole, you can just let us know.
Okay,
Now, any of their clothing articles, I have no issue at all giving the money up front, but I just like to know what we're spending.
is there a typical time of year that we give that out, or is it just as
We've
needed?
never done it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, because
discussed
he's
it.
wondering about
Yeah,
last year's and also about this year.
well, last year's would have gone by, because we're done with that fiscal year.
Okay,
So we'll be
Pretty much.
starting fresh this year.
okay,
They've got to spend it within the fiscal year. Because that's
All
what the
right.
budget for. Thank you for bringing that up.
I'll let Ernie know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the transfer station.
Okay.
Larry gave me a report for the fire department. In February, they've arranged to do an 8-hour wildland firefighting course on February 18th and the 25th, 4 hours each day. Surrounding departments are invited to attend. Waiting for the ladder truck. Have the pump rebuilt. He's updated the junior firefighter program. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Does anyone here have anything to add for fire department?
Did he mention anything to you about the training that he's,
The,
So
he has training
wireless. So
where they can do the,
No, that's the 24th, I think.
is that the 24th?
Yeah.
There's 4 people going to that, I think. No, this is the one that they're trained with the breathing
Oh, the
apparatus.
SCBA.
Yeah.
That's going on right now, they sent. I don't know who the two is, but I heard he sent two and they've been taking classes through the Richmond Fire Department, and
Right.
it's an ongoing weekend thing.
Awesome, okay. So we'd have 2 more certified at the end of it, which is, to your point,
Hopefully,
you seem to bring up Gary about certified people being able to go into a burning building, so that's good.
So we'll have a total of 4 certified JTAC firefighters in Dresden.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Alan.
the only other thing I can think of is, Leah nicely offered to help Larry with recruitment. She asked me about maybe like having an additional page added to the website for that. I did give her the go ahead to reach out to Leah, like, to see, you know, if she can do this or do this. Jeff,
So she actually, attended a couple of the firefighter meetings here the other night. And she's working on a flyer for recruitment on there, and she's, in fact, I know that she. At least displaying it to me, has already got a couple samples that I think she'll be bringing to the next meeting, don't know 100% sure on that, but I know that she's got some recruitment flyers
Awesome,
that she's gonna
awesome.
be getting ready to show.
great, thanks,
thank you.
yeah.
Anything else from fire department? All right, Mr. Road Agent.
Loving the weather, not spending any money, so
That's good.
this should get us, hopefully this should get us to the end of the year with the sand. With this spell we just had, so. And still 3 loads of salt there, so knocking on wood. We got nothing coming, we got one coming on Friday, we just missed this one, so.
You see a savings in budget in my town?
No, because what we don't use it, it goes back into the general fund, so whatever,
But you didn't spend it.
right, we didn't,
Right,
right,
right.
exactly,
I think that's a saving. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I took it the wrong way, so.
How much? In revenue?
No, because March could end up being a rainy, whatever, and we put $45,000 for salt and, you know, we have to order, and it's $2,500 now for a load of salt, $2,700, so it's, 80-something dollars a ton. That's what we have, right?
As I know that 127 is more controlled by the state, right? That route or the route from bridge to bridge. Pretty much, not bridge to bridge, but pretty much bridge to in town Dresden. Is there any date on when that road is looking to get, I guess, either repaved or fixed or anything like that? Nothing?
It's bad.
Just checking. It's pretty bad. I was just.
Right, you mean
Yeah.
from the lights up here to the mills?
Yeah, the tank trail, you know, one that connects, you know, from 27 and, you know.
Yeah.
27 and so-
I haven't seen it in the report come out, but maybe Dave knows something.
Well, it was in the paper this week that, Senator Eloise, reported that both Route 128 and 127 going to get worked on this summer with the ditching and culverts. They didn't see anything paving, but looks like a good sign, at least they're gonna work on it.
We'll have a
Yeah.
soft landing into the ditch.
The one that just closed the road off from by, I call Old Willie's Market, that is gonna be closed, they're gonna change that culvert this summer. That was on for next year, but they're now gonna upgrade it because of the washout they had, so that's supposed to be done this year, and there's 2 more on the lower end past Dresden, so.
Never ending.
Town office.
Your turn.
So Anna's in here, she is on Zoom though. I've been doing a lot of trainings. I finished one today for general assistance, I did Title 30A one, an elected officials one, I have a town meeting, moderating town meeting training coming up. We've been doing a lot of election stuff, people have been coming in to get their absentee ballots. Preparation for the election. I did put a flyer on the table over there about ballot access. And you know, if you wanna pass the word around, I think some people don't realize that if you're not unenrolled, a Democrat or Republican, you're not participating in this primary. Because the other parties they've elected to not have a primary. So that would be no labels, Libertarian or Green Independent. If people do want to vote, they just need to come in and change their party this week. Needs to be done by the 16th. That's the cutoff from the state to change that, to be able to vote. And I don't think everybody knows that. There's been a couple of people that have come into the office a little bit confused, so. I posted those flyers at the town office as well. But, you know, if anybody wants a copy of it, I have it. Pretty much all I have.
Do you know when nomination papers can be left for the election for this various open office, municipal
I
office?
want to say beginning of March.
March, March 4th.
Somewhere around, it was like the first week in March.
Yeah,
Can we get that on the electronic sign and
yes, yeah,
get
I
it
was,
on the website as well?
I was gonna confirm that with you guys. The information online was a little bit confusing, but I think it's beginning of March, so I'll. You know,
And do we have enough of the forms?
it looked like there were a lot of them in the drawer, but I can
Okay.
double check tomorrow and make sure.
Okay, thank you.
By a lot, how many are you thinking?
I have no idea. I just want to make sure we have enough. Rounded enough.
Because I know that,
I mean, we have 10, right? 10 to 12 anyway.
I don't think so, I think
Yeah.
more than that, but I'll double check, I just know that. You know, people are allowed to have more than one
Right,
nomination form circulating,
right.
but I'll look into it, and if we need more, I'll figure it out.
And we don't know yet what elected offices are right this term.
No,
Okay,
other than,
yes,
Yeah.
select board, right. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else?
I don't think so, we get to move on to old business.
Old business, insurance coverage, regarding rec committee, volunteers.
So I reached out to, the person handling that, his name's Randy, he's a part of the RSU. I hadn't heard anything back from him, so the last time I checked in again was on the 7th, and all he could tell me that he was still waiting on approval from the superintendent. I sent him like a clip of what I had gotten from MMA, and I guess he's just waiting to see if the superintendent will take that in an email or if they need something else.
Next Morton Road. No, you did it.
Morton Road, yes, so. I did draft a letter for the Morton Road, abutters and everybody involved.
So it came into the town office, the inquiry on the Morton
Yes.
Road by a couple of different people.
Yeah,
Understanding it's been after research, it is an abandoned road. So we're just from the town standpoint, letting everyone know that that is what we found. We're gonna provide the documentation that shows it's abandoned, and then from that point, we're out of it. We're just doing it as a courtesy to let the abutters know, the owner know that has called the town office that this is what our findings are, and you can move forward on your own. So thank you for drafting that.
yeah, I think the first, judgment was based off of older records, and then the most recent one that we have is from, I think it was 97. And I don't think there's anything newer that would change that.
That's the one, 97, that's the one the town had to send to the state. Paper roads,
Yeah.
private roads, discontinued roads, and the Morton Road was on that, so the state had that discontinued in 1997. That was the piece we had to send it to them, so, and it was before that, but it was legally
Yeah.
declared in 1990,
Declared abandoned.
abandoned in 1997.
Yeah. I think it says, and I'll include a copy of this in the letter that I send out, just so everybody can see it, but I think it says, Maylock Road and Morton Road, from Route 27 to Indian Road. I think it's what it has in there is
Yeah.
abandoned.
And it's circled in.
So
Pretty
just
clear
as
it's a
important
legal document.
information, does that mean that anyone who abuts that property gets to share part of that road, or is that road is on their land, it's now part of their land? How does that work?
I don't know how to answer that truthfully.
Don't speak out, because I'm a budding landowner.
So
Yeah,
the-
it changes.
So Gordon, if I read it right, don't quote me, but if the people that live on the Morton Road, they can use that road. Anybody that doesn't live on the Morton Road, it's a private road, you can't go up it. So at the end of where that Morton Road stops, at the end of his property, which I think is Kate's, I can't remember the name, but anyways, from there up is goes to the Marlock
You're
Road.
talking about who owns up to what? Roxton Road?
No, I'm talking from the end of 27 where it starts, 127 to go up to the
The
guy,
Indian Road. is what
to
it
go
is.
right. That road, the Morton Road only went up there 175 feet. The Morton Road stops right there. From there on, it's other people's property. Them people that live on the Morton Road do not have to let anybody else on that part of the Morton Road. It's discontinued. It is now their road.
It's abandoned.
Abandoned.
Right, so,
Abandoned.
yeah.
You're right. I keep saying.
So if I have permission of someone that lives on the Morton Road, I'm allowed to use their road?
If you if you
Right.
know somebody that lives on the Morton Road, and yes, you can.
Are you talking restricted easement? People have been using that for 20 years and they have a restricted easement.
No.
no.
No, that does not have any weight on this now.
No.
Next we have counter clerk position. We're looking for a third person at the office. To kind of help out. So Ann and I have time to do other things. I'm still the clerk and Ann's still the tax collector, but she's also the treasurer and she's got other stuff she needs to do. Yeah, especially, with property taxes, they're gonna be due
Yeah,
soon.
it's more cash receipts, so if you know of anyone that would be interested, it's posted on our website, it's posted
It's on the
on
sign.
MMA, it's on the sign. It's gonna be in the Wisconsin newspaper, it's in the Lincoln County newspaper, it's like I said, part-time position. And it's just somebody that you're not gonna have a whole lot of responsibility, it's just to fill in.
Yep.
And be available when customers come in to take and do, tax, motor vehicle, tokens and things like that. So,
We've had one person apply so far. but
awesome.
Know of anyone,
Yeah.
send them our way.
Yeah.
On point security systems. I believe. John, is that who you went around with to the locations? I don't have the invoice for that. That was with Ann's stuff.
Is it on the warrant?
But it should be on the warrant.
But anyway, so
Yeah, basically, I think it was to kind of fix some of the cameras weren't coming in clear and things like that.
when they fix the internet too, right?
As far as I know,
Yeah, all the cameras.
Everything, yeah, so.
I don't think they have time to do with the internet, it's because the internet's been consolidated, but in terms of it communicating with the cameras, I believe
They
they
fix that.
fixed that, yeah.
Good. That's nice.
And then, in your packets, there's a quote from Seacoast on the fire alarm situation. I think we need them upgraded in here. I'm not sure if it's anywhere else other than here,
Yeah,
Fire station.
fire
yeah,
station
fire
too.
station, yeah.
Did Larry say if he was able to reach out to them? Because this quote was only good for 15 days back in September.
He hasn't mentioned that to me though.
We're gonna have to confirm what the latest price would be.
Okay,
Is it?
Didn't we have another quote too,
I
though?
thought we were supposed to.
Another company?
Yeah. I thought-
My point, people that did the cameras and stuff.
Right.
Is a $589 difference between the two.
okay.
That's pretty close then.
Are we, gonna review these then, make sure this quote is good and then make a determination who's gonna do it?
Like, I know the on point one is good because he just did that.
And he's $500 cheaper than Seacoast,
No, he's $500 more.
more.
Okay,
So,
right now, but
based
I'll
on,
contact Larry.
right, but based on the fact that this
Yeah.
was from September,
We don't know.
It could,
Right.
yeah, could have gone up, so. I'll ask Larry about that. Anything else on that? Alrighty, on to new business.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Mr. Raza, John, you're the first selectman. I have a question. I think this is under old business. Could I bring it up now? I have a few questions I'd just like to ask the select board, if I could ask them all at once. With all due respect, I'm not looking to be argumentative. I just have a few questions, and if you could possibly answer those afterwards, fine. If not, it's understandable, but I would like to be able to ask these questions. It does pertain to old business.
What is the old business?
Ballard Milligan gravel from 2019 to present, and us going to court February 27th of this month. Can I please ask the questions? Like I said, I'm not trying to be combative. I have some very simple questions. And if you can't answer them and you choose not to, that's absolutely fine.
Litigation. Why do we get?
Yeah. Wouldn't wanna,
Yeah, we're currently in litigation. We're not going to answer.
You don't have to answer. Can I at least put the questions out here? Or can I at least put the statements out here, please?
I believe it's between the two attorneys, and it should be between the attorneys that ask questions back and forth. And we're not trying to be difficult, but we're not gonna state and put ourselves in any position.
Well, I don't know if this one is. Number one, I found out last week Joe Savisky isn't the town attorney. That he was hired specifically for litigation against Ballard Milligan gravel.
Again, I'm gonna say that we are not gonna answer any questions.
Okay. And I'm just curious because it has gone, can I please ask these and then you don't have to answer anything?
I'm not sure the point of you asking it.
Well, let me just make the statement, please. I came here if I could. Let me make these few statements. And I'm not trying to, and you don't have to answer, and I'm not trying to be argumentative. If you don't answer, fine, and I'll have no further comment. Is that okay?
yeah, go ahead.
Great, thank you. Under old business from 2019 to present, pertaining to the town of Dresden versus Heather Beasley and Ballard Milligan gravel. Number one, I found out last week Joe Savisky is not the town attorney, but hired for the specific litigation between Ballard Milligan gravel, Heather Beasley, and the town of Dresden. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd like to find out if we actually have a town attorney. I've been told that we haven't, so I was just curious about that. Number two, according to my attorneys, who I have been in contact with today, Joe Savisky was to be meeting with you three selectmen today, but it doesn't seem that an agreement could be reached. With that being said, are the discussions going to continue? Or will we be going to trial February 27th, this month at 1 o'clock? Per the letter that I have from the court. Number three, the Board of Appeals never rendered a decision, no fault of theirs. And never met again. Last meeting was approximately 2 years ago in June, which now brings us to a trial that I still don't know, and my attorneys still don't know if we will be going to on February 27th at 1 o'clock. With that being said, have the citizens of Dresden been made aware that there is a still ongoing litigation between Ballard Milligan gravel, Heather Beasley, and the town of Dresden? And have the citizens had adequate notice that there is a public trial pending February 27th at 1 o'clock? Four, as a taxpayer, considering my attorney has estimated approximately $100,000 to go to trial over this ongoing litigation, not including what's already been spent, where does the town plan on getting the funding for Joe Savisky's services?
And number 5, this one should be able to be answered. Can this Zoom meeting be emailed to me tomorrow so I can so I can forward a copy to my attorneys, or do I need to put in an FOAA request? Thank you, that's all I wanted to ask.
Our recordings are uploaded to our website. They haven't been done in the past, but that is the current process that they take, so you can grab them from the website.
Wonderful.
Okay, they're not gonna be done in a day. It takes a while because we have Sherry that's got to our recording secretary, that's got to do the notes and get the minutes out and get it approved, and
Is the public gonna be aware that there's a public trial?
I'm not answering any questions further. Please go through your attorney to contact our.
Well, that, it's not up to my attorney to notify the citizens that there's a public trial. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, new business. You should have copies in your folders of 2 separate quotes from, Randy Hinckley Construction. And the reason why there's 2 separate quotes, and this is for the back door repairs. The way Randy explained it to me is there is a simple, cheaper way that might not be the best option. And then there's a little bit more lengthy option that is, I think, close to $2,000 more. And his reasoning for that was, I think he was saying he was gonna have to change which way, the door opens, and, he mentioned a lot of rot underneath the steps there. Jeff Pierce is also gonna get back to me with a quote for that. I haven't seen it yet, so I didn't have it for tonight. And I also tried to find the number for a John, Nybarger, I think is how you say it. I think he did work for us at the transfer station, maybe. But I could not find a phone number for him on, just a simple,
I got it.
Dave has it.
I do want it.
You do right now. Eight, 841 9487.
Thanks, David. All right, so I'll reach out to him too, so we have a third.
So
Option.
regarding these options, we need to be in a direction of ADA compliant.
Yep,
The minimum door is 36.
So one of his.
So
quotes-
one of the options was a narrower door. But those are primary ingress egress, so they need to be the wider door.
okay,
Now, on the outside, we do need a ramp in that, but we can tackle that at a later date. As we
Okay.
move towards compliance instead of being non-compliant.
I didn't mention a ramp because I didn't know that was, the intention, but. Do you want me to mention that to the 2 people that I haven't gotten a quote from? Or are we not worried about that right now?
Do we want to go full compliance or we want to do it in increments?
Well, I think maybe we get a quote. Let's just have him do it with and without. If that is without, doing both. Because that's gonna be dependent on budget.
Is the door there now 36 inches?
Yeah, it's a wide door.
Is it wide?
Okay, so
So.
if not, well, the only thing you can do is repair that one
Right.
until,
However,
right,
this, one of the options was to replace the wide door with a narrower door.
No, we can't do
And
that.
specified in the option 1 is 36. And so.
and there is rod underneath that.
Yeah.
And we've dealt with that already since I've been in the town office and kind of band-aided that, so this time it's gotta get it done. And it has, the door has to open out. Can't open in, so that's by state law.
Okay. We'll wait for those quotes.
All righty. For the website posting procedure, you should have a copy of an email from Lauren Haven. She reached out to me because she would like a list of people who are approved by the town to request things be posted on the website. And she also has requested that anything we send to her going forward for the website, we put in the subject specifically Dresden website, no matter what it is. She said it would just be a lot easier for her to find it that way. In terms of right now, I think I have permission myself and the select board does. And I believe somebody told me it was also committee chairs and Sherry. I don't know if we want to make any changes to that. But she just asked that I get her a firm list, so
Fair enough.
I can, draft one and send it to you if you want to keep the same situation, or if you'd like to narrow it down more. I just hadn't done a list yet because I didn't know if we wanted to keep it the same or change it.
Less people, less confusion.
We'd have to go, they'd have to go for you though, otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
You've got a pretty full plate, don't you?
But it becomes single threaded, so I think we empower the chairs to provide their stuff and board and yourself and Sherry.
Okay,
Are authorized.
okay. Easy enough. Town Facebook page, you'll have a couple of pages in there of emails. So basically the situation with that is, Daniel was handling the, and I don't mean like the group, I mean like our specific government page. Daniel was an administrator of that before. Obviously, he's gone now. Currently, Dave Huffstetter is the admin on that. He is requesting, that we have a second admin. And his reasoning for wanting to keep two is that, like say if somebody loses access to their page that it's connected to, then the other person will hopefully still have access. And he said that the page can't be standalone, it has to be connected to somebody's page. He also put in there that the reason why he would like to remain a part of it is because he thinks that, you know, training is required in internet safety and such. My thought, so I know he is on the broadband committee, and I'm not sure if he's on any other committees, but that was his reasoning for having an official capacity to do so. My thought was perhaps we make a Facebook profile that just says Dresden Town Office, and Dave then makes that page an admin. And then that way I would have access to it and be able to post things on it myself. But yeah, it's you know, it's up for discussion, what you guys think.
So I think it should be somebody from the town office that has oversight of that account. I do not think, I appreciate Dave volunteering his time on the committee and everything, but I think it should be an employee of the town. So I mean, if we need two people, we can pick two people, but I think you should be the primary that does all the postings. And I don't think we should have a private citizen doing any responsibility for that website. It's a local government website. That's my opinion.
I was just gonna volunteer.
Well, personally, I think it probably shouldn't be connected to a personal profile page, you know, I feel like work and personal life should be
Separate.
separate.
Can you do a town,
I mean, I
a
could
fake
make a
profile?
fake profile
Yeah.
and just call it Dresden Town Office.
yeah,
I guess the only issue that might come up that Dave mentioned is if I lost access to that page, then I would lose access to the government page, but where I'm not really gonna be using that fake profile for anything else. I don't see, how I would lose access to it.
Can we get some guidance from, MMA?
Sure.
I'm sure they're dealing with this with many other towns.
So what kind of guidance would you be looking for?
Do they recommend that we actually have a Facebook page? We have a website. We have a community, page that's being used on a regular basis. My question is it even necessary? And so if
No,
it's not, then we lower our complexities.
Agreed. I've thought about that too. It seems like, a lot of people go to Facebook for their information. My personal thought is that if you can go to Facebook, you can go to dresdenme.org.
Yeah.
Just as easily, but, I know that we have had complaints from people about not being notified about various meetings and events. I don't know if posting it on Facebook would necessarily cure that, but I know it's been a complaint that a couple people have made.
And it's a lot easier to follow on Facebook than,
And I know a lot of people are in that group, that Dave Hofstadter started, so I'm assuming a lot more people check that than they do our website, unfortunately.
Then the question is, do we need Dave's, which we can feed to? Or do we do a separate one? Like we have today, that has not been maintained as well as it should be. But I don't know what MMA would recommend, so. If you wouldn't mind checking, 'cause I'm sure we're not alone.
I don't
Yep.
think we should officially be putting on the social website. A lot of back and forth on that. But, yeah, MMA.
I'll reach out to them. So currently Dave is the administrator on that page.
On the Facebook.
Temporarily.
Would you like me to reach out to him and
Shut it down.
shut it down?
I think yes. Because if we don't even know if it's good or bad, I can't see any reason to have it there. We're not posting anything to it.
Okay.
I don't know, that's up to Dawn and John to start.
I'm not a Facebook guy. So. But I know shutting it down has ramifications of being able to bring it back.
So actually, I deactivated it before. And Dave reached out to Daniel to reopen it and become the administrator of it. There's a difference between deleting the page and deactivating the page. If you deactivate it, you can log in at a later date and it will be the same. If you delete it, it's gone.
So this is attached to Daniel's Facebook page?
It isn't anymore. That is what Dave fixed.
Okay,
But instead of Daniel, it's now Dave. Because Daniel had reached out to me and said, hey, I don't want this on my Facebook anymore. Can I transfer it to you? And I said no, because
you know,
at the time I wasn't on it anyways, but I just don't think your personal page should be connected to the town's page.
great.
But I can reach out to MMA and I can, for the time being, have Dave deactivate it. Sounds like that's what the plan is.
Yeah, not deleted.
Or would you like me to make that fake profile and have him transfer it to that for now? And take him off?
Why don't you shut it down for now?
Yeah, I just deactivate it. let's
Okay.
get some
Right, just
answers.
deactivate
Yeah.
it because MMA may say,
That's no
no, you
big
shouldn't have done that, that kind of stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Moving on to CEO, you should have a copy of a letter from the town of Richmond. Unfortunately, they have chosen to discontinue the contract. It was gonna be up in June. Anyways, but I believe the end date they put in the letter is March 20th. So unfortunately, we'll have to find a replacement for James.
You said March 20th, not the end of February, like,
No, the letter says March 20th. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If the-
No, no,
It says
I-
March
It
20th.
says March.
Yeah, yeah. March
thank
20th.
you. No, I had heard differently, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, if you want to contact other towns. You seem to, I mean, like the fire department, you're right on that, you in the heartbeat, would you go contact other towns and see if they have any part-time?
Sure.
See if they wanna come over here,
Yeah, because I think James was only in for
5 hours.
5 hours a week. So I think it would be smart to reach out to neighboring towns and see.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can find somebody quickly.
And I don't know, it was brought to my attention by someone that perhaps we could combine the CEO position with the counter person position, and that way they could do a dual type role and so get more hours for the week. I don't know if we wanna,
That's quite a.
but if it's somebody that's not certified. If it's somebody that's not certified, then yeah.
I almost feel like the two don't really go together
Yeah, that, you got
in terms of
somebody
like
that
complexity.
adds code skill
Well,
and knowledge, and then you got somebody that's,
again, it'd be somebody that's not certified. So if there's an individual that's interested in becoming a certified CEO, that might be a good segue into allowing them to work here to get to know the land use ordinances, talk to people. It's just a suggestion. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
done
see what
before.
you're saying. Not a bad idea.
A lot of schooling to go for that,
Pardon?
a lot of schooling.
There is, but you have to be certified within a year, I believe,
Yeah,
or something like
that's
that,
true.
right? Yeah.
When
So I mean, 1 year, they could be doing both positions. It was done before, that's all I'm gonna say.
Things were simple. There were less.
And it was successful.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I make a motion, we go into executive session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for letting me speak, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ma'am, see you, right? Yeah.
And the county clerk.
Thank you for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my suggestion. Combine the two.
All right, I'll bring the